host of the Gridiron.
All right. Welcome to the Gridiron, baby. If you can give this video a thumbs up or maybe share this video, that would be absolutely freaking phenomenal. If you subscribe to my channel, thank you. If not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way next time I go live or I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. It's totally free of charge. What do you have to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. If you want to help support my channel out, description box below, every top link takes you to my membership page. I have 3 different membership levels. Each one has their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. And I would thank you in advance. Thank you. And then finally, just underneath that, there's another link that takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. We have over 9,500 members in the group. It is doing simply marvelous, might I add. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing and if I got internet access, I put stuff in this group darn near 365. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. Please join it. You will not be dissatisfied. I promise. All right, guys. Well, thank God. Thank God. Put to bed another season. You weren't quite sure exactly what was really going to happen here. Well, you don't really know. I mean, kind of left, kind of like scratching your head, kind of being bewildered. I mean, with the Eagles 37 stringers really? I mean, we had guys injured. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, we really that unbelievably pathetic. I mean, so you really didn't know what was kind of going on. I also there was an article even said something along the lines that Giants were kind of trying to throw the game, or right. Yeah, maybe obviously to try to make sure they keep that good draft pick. And we're going to talk about that a little later in our program here. I really didn't know what to expect, but he came away, I guess in one respect, a little happy now we're picking third, but just, also just a little bewildered, a little disappointed, just also kind of happy that thank God the season's over, but I don't know. It was just some of the stuff that, they put some players in that didn't maybe always have a lot of time. Early on, was it like midfield, 4th down at 7? I guess if you ain't got nothing to lose, I guess you're going for it, I guess. I don't know. Instead of punting and trying to keep their 38th string quarterback down deep, have the hammer punt them, get them down inside the 10, around the 10, if there's something like that, and let them go 85, 90 yards for a touchdown. You give them the ball at midfield. I don't know. All I can say is thank goodness the season's over with. We don't have to deal with any more pain and suffering for quite some time. What do we have? We got about a little over 3 months, and free agency starts. And the Giants will have some money to spend. Okay, but let's not forget, we don't have a quarterback on our roster for next season. Now, I don't know if Drew Lock's going to want to come back. I don't know if we're going to bring him back. We don't even know who the coach is going to be. I have no idea. But let's not forget that, right? They got a bunch of some articles here that were talking about the Giants and everything. Obviously there was the good, right? Malik. And we're going to talk about him and Wandale a little later in our program here. But obviously Malik Nabers is the Giants single-season record holder. Nabers had at least 5 receptions in 14 of his 15 games in which he played. The most games with 5 or more catches by a rookie in NFL history, surpassing the former standard of 12 set by Terry Glenn in 1996 and tied by Anquan Boldin in 2003. And when he only played, 15 games. He missed 2 due to a concussion. Nabers finished with 1,204 receiving yards, the 9th highest total in Giants history, and the 2nd most by a rookie. And once again, he missed a couple games. He was only behind Beckham's 1,305 yards in 2014. Now, the thing is with Beckham is Beckham missed like the first, I think, 4 games of the season with a hamstring injury. So, that's what made Beckham's that much more. Beckham only, it was only a 16-game schedule. He only played in 12 games and he had 1,305 yards. So Beckham's is definitely, the cream of the crop there without question. Let's see here. Malik had 7 touchdown receptions. So his touchdown receptions tying him with Bobby Johnson in 1984 for the 4th highest total by a Giants rookie. And of course, we're going to talk about this once again with Wan'Dale Robinson. He caught 10 passes. Obviously, once again, we're going to talk about this. I said a little bit more, but it's the first time in their history the Giants have 2 players who finished with 90-plus receptions, and we still only had 3 wins. Just unbelievable. The Elias Sports Bureau said it has happened over 20 times in the NFL. It last occurred in 2021 when a pair of wide receiver tight end duos accomplished a feat with Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. Marquise Brown had 91 receptions and Mark Andrews had 107. The last wide receiver tandem to do it was the Rams' Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods. Cooper Kupp had 92 receptions and Robert Wood had 90 in 2020. Let's see here. I guess this whole article was talking about that. All right. Let's see. Tracy, right? They had 1,123 scrimmage yards, placed him 2nd among Giants rookie running backs, obviously behind Saquon. Let's see. Drew Lock made his 3rd consecutive start and 5th this season at quarterback and completed 20. He completed a lot of passes. His percentage was really good, but if you take really. He threw for 138 yards. Let me see. What was that? 45 yards? The touchdown pass was to, just want to say, 45 yards to Malik. Okay. Now, he didn't get sacked. There's another plus. Okay. Didn't get sacked. So he had on 28 other pass attempts. My math is correct here. 28, he had 93 yards. That's like 3 yards a pass attempt. You know how unbelievably, absolutely fucking pathetic that is. Other than take that one away, the one pass attempt away, right? He threw the ball 28 times for like 92 yards. What did I say? 92, 93 yards? 93 yards. That is unbelievably horrible. Absolutely horrible. The running game wasn't bad. Ran the ball 25 times for 100 yards. 4-yard carry. Not bad. Our run defense was good, right? We held them. Obviously, this is shocking, but it just goes to show you their offensive line, right? They rested some guys. Obviously, Saquon wasn't in there. So they ran the ball 25 times for 51 yards. Very, very good. Very, very impressive. It's just that, Tanner McKee, he threw the ball 41 times and got 269 yards. He had 2 touchdowns. He was sacked twice. But it was just like talking about frickin' dinking and dunking. It's like, holy cow! Once again, it kind of makes you don't even you don't know if what the Giants were trying to do, if they really were trying to throw the game or not or whatever. You don't know, because obviously if they would have won, let's see, do we have it here? I got it here somewhere. Thought I do. Pick number 3. I'm gonna pull up. All right, let's see. NFL 2025 draft order. Okay, and we'll go to Tankathon. Because you do that, it pops that stuff right up there. So we'll go to Tankathon, and this will let you know where the Giants would have picked if they had won the game. With the Giants' 554 winning percentage, the Giants would have won. They would have had 4 wins. They would have moved down. They would have been in 7th place. So they would have gone from 4th down to 7th if they would have won. So there would have been some. I mean, with the Giants on a prime position, really good position here. What they need to do is figure out, obviously, what, once again, we don't even know, just the stuff I'm hearing and all. Seems like Shane is coming back. Dable might not. We'll find out tomorrow. Right? We'll find out. But they got to figure out, if one of those quarterbacks falls to them, are they worth pick 3 in the draft? I mean, these guys, I mean, because if they ain't and you pick them, you pretty much sign your own death wish, death warrant. I mean, it's like, I want to get fired. Here's my signature right here. Just fire me in another year. Right? So, I mean, if they're not, those guys slip or they get, the one thing is that the Patriots did fall out, okay, of the running. Thank you, Patriots. Thank you. I mean, the Bills, I think they had their 87 stringers. It didn't matter to them. They had their 87 string players in there too. So, I mean, the Patriots won. Good for them. But, I mean, so the two teams in front need quarterbacks. Well, probably could use quarterbacks, meaning, if you look at, I mean, obviously, I'm sure the Titans, right, could use a quarterback. But with the Browns, I mean, they restructured Deshaun Watson's contract, right? So if they would have let him go or something like that, I think they could ease the pain of not taking a cap hit of like $352 trillion in 1 year. I think they could break it up a little bit, maybe ease the pain. It just, once again, just goes to show you how absolutely, unbelievably, absolutely stupid it was to sign a guy to a fully guaranteed contract. Yeah, Deshaun, yeah. Oh, sure, yeah. You get all those happy endings and all that. Sure, oh, yeah, no, we're not worried about that. No, you getting in trouble with the law. No. Matter of fact, we're going to give you $500 trillion a year, fully guaranteed. Boom. Huh? Come on, baby. We got you. I mean, it's absolutely unbelievably pathetic. But, I mean, quite possibly they'll be in the market for a quarterback, too. So you're not sure. Once again, we'll find out. I mean, if Shador and Cam are that good or whatever, they might go 1-2. But then that would open up. I mean, there's a lot of good players there for the Giants. A lot of good players. And, whether it's a tackle, a cornerback, a defensive lineman, or a wide receiver, the Giants could use any of them. Right? They just have to take the best player available. Right? I would like to go defensive line, but if they think the cornerback, I can't remember the guy's name, from Michigan is that much better than the defensive line, you take the cornerback. If the offensive tackle is one or two of them is that much superior than the other guys, take the offensive tackle. With the Evan Neal project, I mean, get the out of here. You're either a guard or you're gone, brother. I'm sorry. I mean, the guy was injured again. It's like, I can't even talk about the guy. It's unbelievable. You got a Luminor for 1 more year, right? We need a tackle. Whoever the bad guy, I mean, if one of those wide was the guy from Arizona, I'm an idiot. I don't follow the college ranks that much. I'll know him by the draft day. Don't get me wrong. But the guy from Arizona or Hunter, if he's there, right? Whoever the next highest ranked guy is, just grab him. Because, I mean, if it's a wide receiver, I mean, what are we doing with Jalen Hyatt? We traded up to get the guy. We spent 2 draft picks to get the guy. Can he run a route? And Darius Slayton, is he going to come back? Probably not. But, I mean, if one of these wide receivers is all of that and a bag of Doritos, grab them. Right? We're going to talk, once again, I'm going to talk a little bit down our road here, portion of our program, about Malik Nabers and Wandale, right? But, I mean, if you get another dog of a receiver, right, and then you got Wandale and then you got Malik, I mean, that's a nice threesome right there, right? So, wherever the Giants, whoever falls to the Giants be in good position with that. I'd have a hard time believing unless one of those quarterbacks falls, just say, to the Giants, and the Giants start fielding calls, right? And somebody wants to move up and draft Shador or one of those guys. Maybe the Giants move back a little bit, maybe. I mean, but that would help the Giants out if somebody, there's not that heavy of a quarterback class. So I can't, it might be kind of a little tough to think that actually somebody would want to call up and swap with the Giants and one of those quarterbacks were there. But stranger things happen. But we'll have to wait and see. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, so Tracy, fifth round pick, very solid. We could use a running back. I wouldn't be bummed out if we drafted a running back either. Right? I mean, we don't have to get the guy from Boise State in the first round, but I wouldn't, beef up the running back room. Right? I ain't got a problem with that drafting a run. I mean, obviously not in the first or second round, but we're taking that guy from Arizona or Arizona State. Whew, that guy looked good too. But he Drew Lock made his third consecutive start, fifth this season at quarterback, completed 22 of 29 for 138 yards. Kayvon had a season high 1.5 sacks, and Burnsy had half a sack of Tanner McKay. Burns finished with 8.5 sacks, half a sack behind Pro Bowler Dexter Lawrence, who led the team despite missing the final 5 games with an elbow injury. Linebacker Deontay Johnson, right, who made his NFL debut on special teams last week, played defense for the first time and led the Giants with 10 tackles. Good ride, baby. Graham Gano. Now, the weird thing is, let's see here. I got to hear something here. Yeah, see, ESPN had him with 11 tackles, 6 solo. And excuse me. Now, in this article, they said he had 10 tackles, but ESPN said he had 11. So, Graham Gano kicked the season-long 53-yard field goal in the fourth quarter for the Giants. Final points of the season. His previous long was a 50-yard against Minnesota. Joseph played in only 5 games for the Giants, but led the team with 45 points and 13 field goals. Nabers was second with 44 points, including 1 2-point conversion, and Gano was third with 42 points. All right. Gano also kicked a 35-yard field goal and an extra point of 7 points, increased his 5-season Giant total 420, moved him past Tiki Barber. Nice. Giants executed a successful fake punt with safety up back. Dane Belton caught a Casey Kreider snap and ran for 10-yard gain on a 4th and 3 in the second quarter. I mean, truly, the Giants had nothing to lose in this game. Truly nothing to lose. It was the Giants' first fake punt since 2021 against the Chargers when they were losing by 812 points. The Judge era. Let's see here. It was only the only career rushing attempt for Dane Belton so far. Let's see. The Eagles took a 7-0 lead in the 6:51 left in the first quarter. When obviously the 38-string Tanner McKay threw a 15-yard touchdown pass. Philadelphia is the 4th Giants opponents to score a first possession touchdown this season. Giants were 3-7 in regular season games in which the opposing team scores a touchdown on its opposing possession. Let's see here. Giants trailed at halftime, 10-0. It was the 4th time this season they did not score a first half point. I mean, You go back the last couple of years, it's just like the slow starts the Giants had. I mean, we're down to, just we get shut out in the first half of the game against a bunch of backups. It's just unacceptable. Tyreek Phillips started right tackle in place of Evan Neal, who was inactive with more injuries, with a rib and hip injuries. It was Phillips' first start since December 31st, 2023. With Phillips in the lineup, now, once again, this is another kiss of death. Giants used their 10th different starting offensive lineup combination this season, tying them with New England for the most in the NFL. And also, it was their 2023 total. I believe they had 10 as well, too. It's a kiss of death. 10th different starting offensive line. And there's no cohesion there. Right? It's just a kiss of death. They tied them with New England. And what happened to New England? They stunk. And not only that, they stunk, but they fired their coach. Right? Offensive lineman Greg Van Roten and Bernsey were the only Giants to start all 17 games. Van Roten played all 1,126 offensive snaps. So that was he wasn't a Hall of Famer, All-Pro, nothing like that, but he was a very good pickup. Very cheap, and he played every freaking snap for the New York Giants. Thank you, Van Roten. Great job. Thank you, brother. Thank you. You were a little bit of a shining light in this, and same thing with Bernsey. Bernsey, I'll tell you what, man. Now, obviously, I guess now that Daniel Jones is not on the roster anymore, Bernsey is the highest paid annual, right? Because he's making more than Sexy Dex and Andrew Thomas. And, but I'll tell you what, we paid I can't remember, it was $28 million or $29 million a year for Bernsey, but I ain't got no problem with it. You got yourself somebody who just wants to go out there and play football and plays week in and week out. I hopefully the guy stays a little healthy next season, right? But he did a very good job. Gutted it out on an absolutely freaking pathetic football team. All he did, he brought his lunch pail with him every day, every game, went out and played his heart out. So, fantastic pickup by Joe Shane. Right? Fantastic pickup. We brought in somebody, who didn't mail it in halfway through the season because he looked around and was like, man, I could just mail this in. He didn't do that. He earned his pay. So thank you, Brian Burns. I can't wait to see you again next year, brother. Thank you. Here we go. Let's see. Obviously, the Giants had a whole bunch of inactive players. But with the Eagles, with the number 2 seed in the NFC playoffs secure, the Eagles placed 11 starters on their inactive list. With the loss, the Giants moved up to number 3 in the first round of the draft. Giants' streak of 7 consecutive pregame coin toss victories ended. Ooh. This is just, their opponents are set. It's just unbelievable. It's just straight up absolutely. Let's almost give the worst team in football, okay, with their schedule for next year, their home schedule. Let's give them almost the absolute most unbelievably, absolutely pathetic, hardest schedule ever known to mankind. We'll make it where they don't win a game. It'll be interesting. We only got 8 home games next season. Let's see if we go 0-8 next season at home, right? It's just I can't believe it. It's just, the Giants' strength of schedule was like 5, whatever, something like it. You look at the Eagles' strength of schedule, it's like 4 something. It's like they had one of the easiest schedules in all football. The same thing with the Giants. The Giants are like picking 3rd in the draft, and their home schedule is just, they got to play. Okay, they got to play the Cowboys. Now, if Dak comes back, we just can't beat the Cowboys at home. We have a hard time beating the Cowboys at home. Period. Then we of course got to play the Eagles. Then we got who won the division and are in the playoffs. And if the Cowboys get a decent coach next season, they might be in the playoffs once again. Then we got to play, of course, the Commanders, who are in the playoffs. Then we got to play Green Bay. That's right. They're in the playoffs. Then we have to play Minnesota. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, they're in the playoffs. Then we got to play San Francisco. They're not in the playoffs, but last year they went to the Super Bowl. They have a stacked roster, right? They had a bunch of injuries, which really derailed their season this season. But the 49ers are a force to be reckoned with. Then we got to play some team at home by the name of Kansas City. Last time I checked, they were pretty good too, right? In the playoffs. And then we got to play the Chargers. Yeah, that's right. They're in the playoffs. I mean, how do you think the Chargers feel, aren't they? They went from, what the heck did they go? They went from, I think, 5-12 last season, bringing Harbaugh. What were they, 11-6? Not bad, huh? Not too shabby. I mean, that was a tough division too. I mean, because the Chiefs and the refs, okay. I mean, they rested all their players today. I think they had a bunch of kindergartners out there against the Broncos today, so I'm not even counting that one. I'm not okay. So in their first 16 games, they were 15-1, right? And then it goes to the Broncos, obviously. So we got 3 teams from that one division, I think, made the playoffs. So that's a tough division. But, just tough schedule for the Giants. All right, and I got some other stuff here to read. We got that from New York SI.com. Weekly report card. The Philly flop, it's called there. On offense. Giant offense came crashing back down to earth after last week's scoring fest with only one Drew Lock pass, a 45-yard touchdown pass to receiver Malik Nabers. Yeah, made a nice move and obviously tiptoeing down the line and got the ball right inside the cone there and across the line and all and everything. So, and that was fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Otherwise, the Giants only mustered 100 rushing yards on 25 carries and only 138 receiving yards. Giants converted 28.6 on their third down attempts, which is absolutely horrible. Basically, a little over 1 out of every 4, which is absolutely horrible. And it converted 50% on their fourth down tries. Red zone, forget about it, right? They had the 1 attempt, no conversion. All this against the solely Eagles backups. The defense. This was a mixed bag. At times, quarterback Tanner McKay moved the ball down the field too easily. Jahan Dotson led the Eagles receivers with 94 yards on 7 catches. 2 late game penalties, a neutral zone infraction by outside linebacker Boogie Basham, freaking idiot, on 4th and 3, and a roughing the passer call on Kayvon on 3rd and 11 allowed the Eagles to extend their final scoring drive, leading to a Jake Elliott 32-yard field goal with 51 seconds left. Speaking of penalties, Drew Phillips jumped early on a tush-push play to give the Eagles a free first down. I mean, they might have got, and the Eagles are ramming their own. Let's see, how do you put this? In Philadelphia, Eagle players ramming male players in their own tush. They're very good at that. They're the best in the league at that. If you know what I mean, pushing another man at tush. They're the Tom Brady of that. Nobody's any better. So, I mean, without the Drew Phillips, I mean they're so well at pushing another man's tush. They probably would have got the first down anyway. They're unequaled in that department there. The good, there were 2 sacks, which was absolutely pathetic against a bunch of backups, including 1.5 before I talked about that. Throwing 8 quarterback hits, 4 tackles for loss, and 5 pass breakups, and it wasn't a total disaster. Special teams. Other than the Isaiah Rodgers 51-yard kickoff return, the unit had a decent day. The Giants whipped out a fake punt that got them a first down when the ball was directly snapped to Dane Belton. A nice play design and even better execution. The Giants have found a returner in Amir Smith-Marset, who finished with 12.5-yard average on 2 punt returns, 0 punt return yards by the Eagles, which is fantastic, leading to a Jamie Gillen average 40-yard net average. Graham Gano hit both field goals. Coaching. As it has been the case most of the season, the play calling was a head scratcher again, considering this team told us they were aiming to win the game. Why go for it on fourth down at midfield and then later on a similar spot go for a field goal? Why run plays closer to the goal line that are slow to develop? You can't do that. Speaking of play calling, why have Brian Burns cover a tight end? And why not bring the pressure earlier in the game if the goal was to win it? Yeah, I mean, the one thing, I don't know. I mean, not there, and I didn't, all that stuff, and I can move my legs. But, I mean, you go against a 38 string quarterback. I mean, pressure. But it's one of those things. It's just like, they have absolutely nothing to lose. But I was kind of like, in midfield, I think it was 4th and 7, and you're going for it. So then, of course, you don't get it, and now they only have 50 yards to go instead of having the hammer, try to drive them down, keep them down deep, get it down around the 15, maybe the 10-yard line, just something nice and high. The guy runs it, give him one of these, right? He catches the ball, boom, at the 13. Right, now the Eagles got to go 87 yards instead of 50. A lot of head scratching stuff. But I mean, it's just thank goodness the season is over.